now move to KwaZulu-Natal, and the highly anticipated provincial elective conference in that province is set to get underway this weekend. Businessman Sandile Zungu has joined several provincial leaders to contest the chairperson position. Premier Sihle Zikalala is the current chair and of course is seeking re-election. The party holding a provincial executive committee meeting in Durban today, and our senior reporter Siphamandla Goge will join us now with the latest on that. So Sipa, talk to us about this PEC meeting. What's been happening there today? How does that then flow into what's due to happen this weekend?
It's a significant provincial executive committee meeting of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal simply because it's the last one ahead of the eagerly awaited provincial conference set to kick off this coming Friday. The PEC meeting that is currently underway in Durban is seized with three matters basically. One is the presentation of the organizational report by the provincial secretary of the ANC in the province, that is Mr. Mtumseni Ntuli, and it's the presentation of the financial report. These are draft reports. The financial report will be presented by Provincial Treasurer Nomusa Dube-Ncube, who is said to be eyeing for the position of the provincial chairperson. She's one of those more than 5 candidates that are said to be contesting for the position of the provincial chairperson. And after the presentation of those draft reports that will be refined by the PEC meeting, then they will get the status update and the latest in terms of logistics in preparation for the upcoming conference. They will receive a report in terms of the state of readiness, and then after that the meeting will obviously be the last one ahead of the conference. But the meeting is also being attended by members of the National Executive Committee of the ANC that are deployed in KwaZulu-Natal. They include the convener of the NEC deployees to the province, that is Unocawe Mafu, as well as NEC member Lindiwe Sisulu. Mtumseni Ntuli, the provincial secretary, explains what will be discussed in this meeting.
We are having a special meeting just to get the reports adopted, particularly the organizational report of the provincial secretary, as well as the financial report. And of course, the PEC will also be interested to know the extent to which we are ready for, in terms of the logistics, the registration, and whether or not are we having any major challenges around which must be resolved through the dispute processes. From where I am, I'm quite excited because I think there's only one, if not 2, branches that needs to be sorted out.
Super, talk to us about the contenders for the chairperson position, because of course they'll be up against Premier Sihle Zikalala, and he's such a prominent politician, you kind of assume that he's a shoe-in. Are there any really serious contenders up against him? What has Mtumseni Ntuli told you about that particular race?
There are too many slates that are flying around here, too many names that are being mentioned that they will be contesting for the position of the provincial chairperson, which is currently held by Sihle Zikalala. He is seeking re-election. Sihle Zikalala has been the provincial secretary of the ANC in the province. He is a former ANC Youth League leader, being the general secretary based in Luthuli House. So he is one of those politicians in the province who are still running for this position of the chairperson. Nomsa Dube-Ncube, who is the current provincial treasurer of the ANC in KZN, is said to be eyeing the same position. There have been speculation about her contesting for the same position over a number of years now. There is also the name of the former Youth League leader in the province, that is Siboniso Duma. Businessman Sandile Zungu today confirmed that he will be contesting for the very same position. So a number of names have been mentioned here, but all of that will boil down to one thing. As the nomination boxes from the branch general meetings were opened yesterday, they are being consolidated as we speak. We expect that tomorrow there will be an indication as to, out of all the 700 branches that qualified to go to the conference, who has been nominated for what position. But for now, there are more than 5 candidates that are said to be eyeing the position of the provincial chairperson of the ANC in KZN. Something that the provincial secretary Mtumseni Ntuli says is not worrying. Those are just mere speculation and mentioning of the names. It will all be decided by the branch delegates. Let's take a listen.
We will have to distinguish between what has been punted in the social media and the mainstream media with what is actually obtaining within the structures of the ANC. And the only time we can be able to say who exactly has been considered and nominated by branches of the ANC is when the conference commences on Friday. So at this stage, this thing about many names for this and that is really what people decide to take up to social media and the mainstream media. It can't really be a confirmation and an expression of what is actually obtaining on the ground.
You've spoken to one of the contenders, Sandile Zungu. He's a businessman. Explain what he's offering. Is it anything different, anything completely fresh? Is he gaining a lot of attention?
Well, Sandile Zungu says his campaign is dubbed the fresh approach simply because he says it's time to do things differently. He says he's been lobbied by members of the ANC who have asked him to contest and take this province to greater heights. He's of the view that there has to be change, things need to change. And he says he's offering ethical leadership, he's offering leadership that will be centered around and among people in terms of delivering basic services. It's something that is very different if you listen to him, but the question is, how is he going to do that in an organization that talks about collective responsibility? You do not have individual policies in the ANC. It doesn't really matter who the ANC elects. At the end of the day, they go to their policy conference, they adopt policies. The leadership that is elected will have to implement those policies. The style of politics within the ANC doesn't allow for individual brilliance. They are all, they all have to abide by the rules, the code, and the resolutions and the policies of the ANC. But Sandile Zungu says it's time for electoral reforms within the ANC. He's of the view that now is the time for each and every ANC member to have a right to nominate and elect preferred leadership. It's the position that has been advanced by the provincial chairperson of the ANC in the Eastern Cape, Oscar Mabuyane, before. Sandile Zungu supports that view, but also Sandile Zungu says the issue of the step-aside resolution of the ANC in its current form is problematic. He says there is a view that the way the step-aside resolution of the ANC is being implemented is factional. That's the question that was put to him by the members of the media to say, what is his view when it comes to the step-aside resolution policy of the ANC, when it comes to those who have been criminally charged? This is what he had to say.
There is an overwhelming view that it is becoming a factional instrument to deal with those that are on the wrong side of the equation. It is sadly going to suffer the same fate that the Scorpions suffered post-2007. For me, the die is cast on the step-aside resolution, simply because it is used incorrectly as a factional instrument.
Very interesting. And I think this weekend's conference, which is finally going to get underway, it seems, and it's such a massive region for the ANC, such a big province, it's going to be fascinating to see